This is the Middle Tennessee High School Sports Show with your hosts, Mike Strasinger and Jacob Golson.
All right, sports fans, welcome into another episode of the Middle Tennessee High School Sports Show. I'm Mike Strasinger along with Jacob Golson. What's up, Jacob?
Nothing much. Doing pretty good. We're coming to you from the Corner Pub in the Woods out here in Bellevue. We love coming here. It's a great atmosphere. We'd like all you to come here. It's a great place to be, to come see your favorite teams in action. You know, NFL started this past week. Come see the Titans. College football is in action. Come see Vanderbilt, Tennessee, maybe Alabama if you like Roll Tide. I don't know about that, but some people do.
Absolutely.
Great food, great atmosphere. It's the place to be.
Yeah, thanks to Woods Murphy and his staff for allowing us to come out here. All right, this week we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to get right into an interview with Ron Slay, a local basketball legend. Ron played basketball at high school here and then went on to UT, then went and played professional basketball internationally. And we're going to talk to, from time to time, athletes that have gone on to the next level. So this was a good chance to meet up with Ron Slay and talk to him. So we're going to give you all a look at that right now. Take a look. Hey guys, Mike Strasinger here. I'm with legendary basketball player Ron Slay from the area. Just want to give it a quick shout out to Ron. Thanks for being here today.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. We're going to get into a little bit of his past and what he's doing now, and we'll sit down with him now. We're going to ask him a few questions. Thanks. All right, Ron, thanks for meeting with me today. You're part of my first interview of I'm going to do some segments with players who played in high school that have gone on to the next level in different sports. Some go to higher levels than others, and you certainly fit in that bill. Yeah, you're a good player, no doubt. What we're going to do, I'm going to kind of start now and work our way back. Okay, if you can. So what are you doing now?
Now I am currently helping out with AAU, doing some training, coaching here at Innsworth High School. Just trying to feed back into the youth and give them a little bit of the knowledge that I had coming up, that helped me, and maybe some distractions that I stayed away from that maybe helped them also. So just feeding back into the youth in any capacity that I can.
And do you coach with the varsity team?
Yeah, I'm assistant coaching at varsity. My first year at Innsworth, this will be the third year. My first year I was with the freshman team, then it went on up to the varsity the next 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so you came here to Innsworth. Was this your first high school position?
Yeah, first anything position.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you quit playing pro ball?
I quit playing pro ball, I believe, 4 years ago.
Okay, now
Somewhere
you played
along
in
that line.
Europe
Yeah.
and Puerto Rico?
Yeah, played in Europe. First it was in Turkey, then Israel, NBDL for a year, Italy for 8, France for 2,
Wow.
Portugal, Spain, Switzerland.
Well, that sounds like you got to see a lot of the world.
Yeah, got to see a whole lot.
How about the quality of play? Is it legit?
Yeah, it is. I think Italy, Turkey, and Spain was pretty high, especially as far as a team game. You had to be a pretty good athlete to remain in France. So towards the end of my career, I stayed away from France, but it was a good experience.
Okay, now let's take it back a little farther. Now, your years at UT, I've got it written down here. You played as a freshman.
Right.
You had 9.7 points and 4.4 rebounds as a game as a freshman.
Right.
Sophomore year, improved that. 12.9, 5.3. Injury in your junior year limited your play. Then at your senior year, you really had a coming out party, so to speak. Over 20 points a game, 7.8 rebounds a game, SEC Player of the Year. Tell us about that.
A great experience all the way from my freshman year on. Once I came into the program, I came from Oak Hill, so getting there, I was already used to competing, even dating back to high school. But my freshman year, Isaiah Victor took me under his wing, who was a power forward ahead of me. And he just kind of showed me the ropes, showed me what it was going to take to play. I took that in the summer and went straight into the season. My freshman year, had a pretty good year. I got 6th man of the year from Dick Vitale also. We made the Sweet 16, came back with the whole team returning except one player, C.J. Black, who was from Chattanooga Brainerd. But we lost him my sophomore year, but we had a great team. So my sophomore year, we got all the way high. Highest rank was 4th.
Okay.
4th in the nation. Had a debacle at the end where we should have went further in the NCAA tournament, but we weren't all on the same page. So going into my junior year and get hurt, I think that was going to be the breakout season. Me, Vincent Yarbrough, and Marcus Hayslip
Okay, yeah.
had some big plans, and everybody was doing their part, especially when we all got on the same page. First, I was out with an injury. I had a shin splint that had to heal. So when I came back, Marcus was out because he was ineligible the first half of the season. Once we all got back in, we probably had 4 games together, and I think Vince was averaging like 21, Slip was averaging 19, I was averaging 19. So
Wow.
it was something good. Yeah,
Good team.
we were on our way. Yeah, but then we had injuries, and then Slip, he left. Marcus Hayslip left and went to NBA. It was a lottery pick.
Okay.
Vince Yarbrough also left as a senior, was drafted by the Nuggets.
Right.
Then left me my senior year, me and John Higgins. I had a great guy, C.J. Watson, coming in as a point guard with some Nashville ties. So that we got together and did some special things my senior year, and was able to be All-American and SEC Player of the Year.
Awesome. Yeah, you had a great career. And then later, I was at an SEC tournament a few years ago. You were honored as an SEC legend.
Right.
Tell me about that. How did that feel?
That was huge. That was a huge honor because I never set out to be like, I just wanted to make a splash and make my name known.
You
And
did.
yeah, I did. Yeah, they acknowledged me for that. So it was more so special that it was honored here in Nashville.
Right.
You
You
know,
were out there with, I think, Shane Foster.
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Now let's go to high school now. Okay, you started at Procone. Went 3 years at Procone,
Right.
and you took that team to new levels, new heights for that team. Now you had some help there. You were surrounded by
definitely did.
some good players: B.T. Washington, Tall Drink, and Henderson, and Bootsy, and
Andre Stallings.
Andre. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember all those guys. I don't know if hopefully you remember me from back then. I was snapping pictures.
without a doubt.
I brought some pictures along
Yeah.
this from you back in the day. Take a look at these.
Yeah, these right here, boy.
From the Final Four, I think against Brainerd
Yeah.
or Bartlett.
Bartlett, my sophomore year.
And that was a great
This
experience.
is
Got
wild.
called to the Final Four 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Some good times.
Yes, it
It
was.
was a great bunch of guys. When I started shooting, I just thought that's the way it was going to be.
Yeah.
I was around you guys a lot. And I just figured
This is where it's gonna roll.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize how hard it was.
Right.
We all played in AAA back then. I think Pro plays in AA now.
Yeah, they did. It went
So
down.
this is playing with the big guys.
Yeah, definitely.
So then you made a decision to go to Oak Hill Academy.
Right.
Tell me about that.
It was a tough decision, probably one of the toughest decisions I ever had to do. I definitely didn't want to leave my teammates behind. The good thing about it, it was a bright side to it. I was always the young pup of the group. So when I came in my freshman year, sophomore, and junior, I was always one grade behind everybody with, as far as John, BT, Bootsy, and everybody else. And Terry left his sophomore year and went to Oak Hill Academy after his sophomore year. So we had some ties up there already, but I still I felt I made my name in Nashville already at Pearl, and I really wanted to win Mr. Basketball because that's one of the biggest things, around here. Mr. Santonio had already won Mr. Football. We came in together, so I wanted to do the basketball part. And I remember Coach Fitzgerald and my mom sat down, and David Whitfield, and we all got together, and they were like, this is going to be the best opportunity of your life. And I'm like, nah, Pearl was the best opportunity. Like, I can get out here, I can average 30. I think I was averaging like 20 and 10 or something in my junior year. So I was like, man, let's me come back my senior year. But I went up to Oak Hill, and it was a pretty good decision. My mom had talked to Ron Mercer's mom, and Terry Reynolds, his dad, Big Terry, had talked to my mom, and he had already schooled Coach Smith on who I was. Coach Smith got a look at me when we played in the Arby's Classic from Pearl Cone. We played in Bristol, Tennessee, at Tennessee High.
Tell some of us, and I'm one of them, who don't really know about Oak Hill Academy.
Okay.
Who do they play against?
Oak Hill is it's a private school, a 4-year school, just like every other high school. A lot of people think it's post-grad and stuff. It's not. It's a 4-year school, and we play against a national ranked schedule. So anybody in the top 25, like my year, we played against Compton Dominguez, which had Tyson Chandler and Marcus Moore, who went to Washington. Tyson Chandler is still playing in the NBA today. Also played against Omar Cook. He was from played at St. John's. We played him from Christ the King from New York.
Sounds like some
Very good. Everybody that was pretty much known in college ball the next couple of years and in the NBA we played against them, whether it was Marquise Daniels, Matt Bonner, Joe Forte, Keith Bogans, the list goes on and on. So.
Okay, one of the things I've noticed about you, I've watched you on the bench here at Ensworth a couple of times at some games. What I really think you bring to the game is your ability. You take players aside and talk to them about game situation.
Right.
Think what's happening right now in the game.
Right.
And it's kind of, it looks to me like you are really passing along your experience and your wisdom.
Definitely.
It's you've been there, done that sort of thing. What do you tell these guys out there that to help them in that situation?
A lot of them, it depends on the situation, but most of the time, like you said, I'm giving knowledge from situations that I've been in, you know, and telling them how to seize the moment and how do you have an impact. That's my most important thing. Are you having an impact on the game right now, either with scoring, with rebounding, with defense, or whatever it may be? And when you're sitting out, don't just sit out, catch your breath. Sit out and analyze the game. So I'm just trying to school them, man, on what they should be looking at and not worried about what should they be focused on in, so they can help the team. And in order for them to get back out on the floor, because when they come out, they're really going back in, but it's just come out just to tell you something briefly and then get you back in. So if they can go back in and focus on the little things that they might have messed up on and don't make the same mistake twice, that's the main thing.
All right. Now, what could you have been, if somebody could have told you back then, what do you wish you knew then that you know now? You know,
main thing, control your emotions. I was a very emotional player. I wore my emotions on my sleeve, and it took me. It made me play better, but in some situations, it made me play worse because I couldn't control it and get locked in. A bad call, for instance, would send me on a tirade against my teammates, the refs. I'm thinking they have to get me.
Other teams realize
without
that
a doubt.
Went after you for
without
that,
a doubt.
to rile you a little bit.
Without a doubt, and ultimately in college it ended up helping me because I was able to play mind games with other people. But in high school they were playing mind games with me. So, and I couldn't realize that. I was just like, man, let me get out here and make my name, make a dunk, and get the crowd hyped. But knowing there's more to the game than that, you know, and it's being able to buy into the team concept early on, I think would have helped us tremendously in the state.
Okay. And the headband, some of these pictures in here, I see a headband.
Most definitely.
Did you start wearing that headband
Trademark.
in high school? And
I started actually.
In college?
I started at West End Middle School.
Okay.
West End Middle School. Me and Marcus Fitzgerald decided to separate ourselves from people and have a trademark. So our thing was like Fab Five was doing the ball heads and the black socks and things of that nature. So we said, let's go with the headband. We went with the headband and never looked back. I couldn't stop wearing it.
At UT, a lot of them were headbands.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I like to think I did something. I had something to do with that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I think you're going to do great things here at Ensworth.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
If they will listen to you.
Right.
Do these kids know who you are? Do the kids come around now?
I think they're starting to realize a little bit. You know, I think they didn't really know me from my play. I think their parents told them about my play, but now you can still go back and look on YouTube and see the highlights and things of that nature. And then plus, I'll still get out there and give them a little bit, give them a little bit of action. Yeah,
You can't.
yeah.
And do you see kids buy into what you're teaching them through the year? They start believing you and trusting you more?
Yeah.
Oh, he does know what he's talking about.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's a lot of times before, during the game when I'm pulling them out or after the game and when we're watching film, I always say, man, do you remember when I told you this? Like, I promise you I'm not lying to you. Like, this stuff is going to happen. So, you know, just try to prepare for them like that. And I think they do listen to it.
Absolutely. They should.
Right.
They should. All right. Well, thanks so much for sitting down with me.
No doubt.
I'll be around.
All right, definitely.
Always good to run into you.
Definitely. I'd love to be back on the show.
All right, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's great, and I think he's great with the younger kids. He's got a lot of experience he can draw from, and what I like about him, he takes the players aside. I've seen him do it during basketball games, and while everybody's in the chaos over there, he can take them aside and say, listen, you need to do this right now with your guy. And they learn to listen to him, and it gives them good results.
It's really good when you have a guy that's been on that level, so it's a lot more relatable for the players.
Yeah, and if they will just listen to him, I think they'll do a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, at this point, we normally talk about volleyball and soccer scores, and it's just so hard to get the scores consistently from all over the area that we want to cover. So what we're going to do, we're going to back it off a little bit, and we're not going to be reporting any high school soccer or volleyball scores here on these episodes. But if you tweet them at me or us, we will get them. We will retweet them as we get them, or Instagram. You can see that right down here. Let me know what's going on. I'm glad to report your scores, and we'll revisit this closer to district tournament time. I am working on something with the TSSAA, and hopefully we'll get a little bit better system going on to make it easier for everybody to get the scores reported. All right, it's football time, and another news segment here is we're catching up with local kids that have gone on to the next level in whatever sport. And this week, another football game. I went to MTSU-TSU football game, a great game Saturday at Murfreesboro. Gives us a good chance to look at a lot of local players in one spot.
Yeah.
Both teams have several players on the team. MTSU beat TSU 45-26 in a very entertaining game. Chris Rowland from Ravenwood. Now watch this. Check out this stat line. 11 passes for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had a 96-yard touchdown reception for TSU's first score, and then later he added a 60-yarder. So for his efforts, Chris Rowland was named the co-offensive player of the week for the Ohio Valley Conference, and well deserved. The 202 receiving yards is the 12th most in a game for a TSU receiver. Now watch this. Right now, Chris ranks first nationally in all-purpose yards, 218 a game, total receiving yards, 374, receiving yards per game, 187 yards per game.
Wow.
As well as receptions per game, 11.0 receptions per game, and third in touchdowns.
Those are some big-time stats.
Yeah, he had a game. He's a great player from Ravenwood. Now, he's got a brother, Seth Rowland. He had a great game as well with 96 yards rushing. Now, local quarterback Michael Hughes from Hillsboro came in the second half in a kind of a relief role. The starter had been dinged up a bit. Hughes comes right in, and he leads his team to 3 touchdown drives. So he had a great game. Another Ravenwood product, Nick Harper Jr., had an interception to set up a score for the Tigers. Jason Bryant from Cane Ridge was all over the place at linebacker for the Tigers. He was very good, very impressive. Also at defense for TSU was cornerback Ray Coggins from Wilson Central. Antonio Zeta from Lincoln County does the place kicking. And Darren Johnson from Springfield does the kick returning. So local players all over the place. Also on the sidelines there I saw Josh Trueheart from Stratford. He plays some tight end. And Jalen Gupton also from Stratford. For MTSU, East Nashville's Isaiah Upton plays tight end. He's on the kickoff return team. He saw some action. Cruz Holt for Ravenwood, another Ravenwood product. He does the place kicking for MTSU. And also I saw Kevin Keelan Stribling from Independence High School, and Stephen Losoya III from Overton. We'll continue to bring you some former high school players at the next level, and it might not just be football. I'm looking for them in golf, cross country, volleyball, soccer, whatever it might be.
It's always good to see those players make it to the next level and have success there as well.
Absolutely. All right, let's go over some scores from last week's football games, the scores that stood out to us. Not necessarily the who won, but maybe some of the margins of victories were closer or bigger or whatever. But some interesting games. Baylor 42-17 over Father Ryan. I thought that would be a lot closer than that. East Nashville 21-17 over Giles County. East Nashville I thought would do a little better than that.
Yeah,
they won.
That's closer than I thought.
They won, but yeah. So East Nashville is still winning, but maybe they're coming back down to earth a little bit. Giles County though is very good. All right, Gallatin 49-14 over Hillsboro. That surprised me a little bit. That's a big number for Gallatin. I understand there was a lot of penalties that hurt Hillsboro there. It was Hendersonville 48, Station Camp 7. So like you said, I think Hendersonville lost the first game of the year, but now they've really bounced back strongly. Hunters Lane 27-24 over Hillwood. It's a nice win for Hunters Lane. Good job. Lipscomb 56, FRA 26. This was a bigger margin of victory than I anticipated on that one. McCallie 28-23 over Brentwood Academy. A lot of people were picking this one, and they were right. McCallie's awfully strong this year.
Yeah.
BA might be a little down from years past, might be, but don't count them out don't count them out at the end of the year.
Yeah, they'll turn it on.
Nashville Christian School, NCS 21-13 over Davidson Academy. That's a nice win. Page 34, Shelbyville 29 in a nail biter. And I don't know if you saw the highlights on Williamson County Herald, the Williamson Herald website. Just Shelbyville had 3 chances to win this game, and a penalty here, a penalty there, and then they got stopped right on the goal line as time went out. Incredible game.
You know, if I remember correctly, you called that game to be in overtime in your picks.
Just missed it.
So you were close.
Pearl-Cohn 42-6 over Stratford. We thought this might go this way. Pearl-Cohn beat them badly at this point in the regular season last year. Stratford beat them in the playoffs. Pearl-Cohn has not forgotten that, so they're back 42-6. Springfield over White House Heritage 42-41 in what might have been the game of the week. Incredible game. Watertown 16-13 over Trousdale County. Big rivalry game there in Wilson County. 16-13 Watertown. And then Weiss Creek with a big win over Republic, 30-12. So Jacob's going to look at some of the games coming up this week.
Yeah, so some of the big games we have this week, we've got Whitehaven at Brentwood Academy. BA's looking to come back from that loss to McCallie. Then we have CPA at Innsworth. It's a big game there. Pope John Paul II at Father Ryan.
That's actually called the Bishop Bowl.
Wow.
Two big Catholic schools going at it.
That'll be a good one. Portland at Greenbrier. Beach at Hendersonville. Blackman at Independence. Pearl-Cohn at Maplewood. Shelbyville at Marshall County. Gallatin at Mount Juliet. Lipscomb at Page. Livingston Academy at Upperman. MBA at Briarcrest.
And this is one of these deals. And MBA is now in the western part of the Division II AAA region, so they have to travel to Memphis a couple times this year. And I don't really know much about the Briarcrest team, but they're always good. And this will be a real tough test for MBA.
Well, MBA is coming off their first one of the season, so they'll hopefully carry the winning they've done. Columbia Academy at Davidson Academy, and that's the last big game of the week.
Okay, so now we'll come to our picks of the week. Let's see how we did last week. Last week, Jacob, how'd you do? What were you?
I was pretty confident going into the week, and I ended up doing very well. I went 9-2.
That's impressive. I believe that beat me. I think I was 8-3.
We're both doing pretty well.
8-3. It's pretty good, but 9-2. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You did your research. It paid off.
Yep.
Very well. And I got to say, the 3 games I missed, I was way off. It's always like, what was I thinking? But it happens.
Yeah, it does.
So there you go. And remember, we're playing for charities, and the loser will pay $50 to the other person's charity. I'm paying for the World Wildlife Foundation.
And I'm playing for Men of Valor at Nashville Prison Ministry.
Very good. So glad if I were to lose, be glad to give the money.
Yeah, same here.
Give the money away. All right, time for this week's picks of the week. And again, we split the schedule in half. We pick every third game, then we split that list in half. And list A and list B, and I give Jacob the choice blindly. And I asked him, what do you want, list A or B? And this week you took?
I took A this week, trying to shake things up, see if it'll work.
All right, you go.
My first game of list A is Huntland at Cascade. So Huntland is 1-2, but both their losses were only by 6 points. They have an ability to keep games close, even if things start maybe going a little bit wrong. And that's a good skill to have when you play on the road. So I think that's going to help them defeat this weaker Cascade team. So I'm going to go with Huntland there. My next game is Franklin Grace at Cornersville. So I think Cornersville is the better team here, and they're home. So I think all signs point to the Bulldogs as Franklin Grace is 0-3. So I'm going to go with Cornersville.
Sounds good.
CPA at Innsworth, they're clearly on a mission this year. They're one of the most impressive teams I've seen, and I think they're going to take care of business easily against this struggling CPA team. Creekwood at Harpeth is my next game. The Creekwood Redhawks, they're on a tear this year. At 3-0, they've won every game by 14 points or more, so I think they're going to get the job done over the Harpeth Indians. Red Boiling Springs at Jackson County is my next game. I think all signs point to the Jackson County Blue Devils here. Besides a blowout loss to a really good team in Westmoreland, Jackson County has shown a lot of talent. I think they're going to get a solid victory here over Red Boiling Springs. My next game is Glencliff at Macon County. Glencliff, they've yet to pick up a win this year, and they have another tough match ahead of them at Macon County. The home team needs a win here and will get one, and the Tigers are going to move to 2-2 on the year. Kings Academy at Mount Juliet Christian. Things got a little out of hand last week for Mount Juliet Christian. They lost to Macon County 55-7. I think now they've gotten a chance to regroup and they've got a home game, so they'll win a close match, I think, against Kings Academy. It'll be a close one, but I'm going to go with Mount Juliet Christian. This next game is about as good as it gets. Pulaski Academy at Ravenwood. Ravenwood is the 4th best team in the state of Tennessee, and Pulaski Academy is the 5th best team in the state of Arkansas. This is a classic matchup of two states, some of their best teams they have to offer, and all eyes are going to be on this game for sure. So in the spirit of the Middle Tennessee High School Sports Show, I can't root against the Tennessee team. I'm going with the Raptors.
Very good.
Richland at Summertown. This is going to be a very close game, I think. Both teams are 2-1 on the season, so each one needs a win. But the Summertown Eagles, they've won their last 2. They're a little bit hotter going into this game. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'm going with the Eagles.
Nice.
Riverside at Wayne County. So after losing 2 games in a row, Riverside defeated East Hickman this past week 35-6, and I think they keep the train rolling and get this win over Wayne County. My final game for the week of List A is Knox Grace at York Institute. So Knoxville Grace got blown out by South Doyle 61-7, but I think after a bye week this past week, they were able to learn a lot from playing against a really good team, and they'll come ready to play at York Institute and get the win over the Dragons.
Wow. Nice. Well done.
Thank you.
I
Hopefully,
love the work you put into it.
yeah. Hopefully, I do 9-2 again, or maybe a little bit better.
That will win most times.
Yeah.
Most times. Watch this. All right, starting off with my picks, I had list B. I'm going to go Loretto at Collinwood. Loretto's 1-1, Collinwood 1-2. Close game. I think Loretto's just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Going with Loretto on that one. Then McGavock 0-3 at Dixon County 0-3. Both teams are off to a rough start, each at 0-3, like I said, having faced tough schedules, with the Raiders losing to BGA Lebanon and Cane Ridge. Tough teams.
Yeah.
But Dixon County hasn't scored yet.
Oh.
Okay. They're struggling. They've been shut out by Creekwood, Columbia, and Brentwood. They'll score this week, but McGavock gets their first win of the season for their coach, Jay Gore. Summit 3-0 at Franklin 1-2. Summit coming off with a nice win versus Columbia, and Franklin coming off a tough loss to Ravenwood. I got to go with Summit on that one. Joe Burns 0-3, Houston County 3-0. There you go. Houston County too much, they win. Warren County 2-1 at Lawrence County 2-1. All right, Warren County has to go 2 hours to get to Warren County, and I looked at it on Google's map, and there's no, you can't get there from here. It's one of those deals.
Yeah.
I think they'll be worn out by the time they even get there. Lawrence County will win a close one. Harriman 0-3 at Monterey 3-0. The Wildcats go 4-0 after a win against the Blue Devils. Yep. Lipscomb at Page. Lipscomb coming off a big win versus FRA last week, and then Page with their nail biter against Shelbyville. Both teams really playing well. Mm-hmm. I like Page. I like their grit. And I like their spunk. They got the Friday nights feel about them. I'm going to pick Page in a shootout. All right, maybe whoever gets the ball last, one of those deals, an Arena League type deal.
Yeah.
Riverdale 3-0 at Smyrna 1-2. Now this used to be a really big rival in Rutherford County. Several years ago, Riverdale was the big dog on top. Smyrna's always been right there nipping at their heels. But think Riverdale's getting their swagger back after 3 nice wins, while Smyrna lost their first 2 games, but a win last week might have them back on track. But I like Riverdale. I'm going to pick them by 10 points.
Nice.
Livingston Academy 3-0 at Upperman 3-0.
Big game.
This is a tough one. All right, clash of unbeatens. Upperman's outscoring their opponents 98-20. Livingston Academy outscoring their opponents 105-23, including a win over 6A Cookville. I'm going to go with Livingston Academy on that one. And then Sycamore 2-1 at White House Heritage 2-1. White House Heritage starts off with 2 impressive wins. Then they lost a tough one to Springfield last week. But I believe the Patriots will bounce back and get the win. That's how you do it, Jacob.
Okay.
That's it. That's a perfect sheet right there. I'm calling it right now. 11-0. I feel it.
Wow, that's a bold call.
And if I go perfect, fine. If I don't, I'm going to give another $10 to the pool, to
awesome.
the charity pool.
All right.
Calling it right there.
Well, I'm rooting for and against you.
Okay, we'll see. I feel that good about them.
Yeah.
All right, get us out of here, Jacob.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Middle Tennessee High School Sports Show. We'll come back next week with even more stuff to talk about. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Tweet at us or catch us on Instagram at MTHS Sports Show. Give us a follow. Give us a shout out. We'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, and please do tweet at us about your volleyball and soccer scores. Okay, that's how we are going to find out. All right.
See y'all
Thanks,
next
guys.
time.